Technology and Livelihood Education 7. Our topic is crop production. Select and use farm tools and equipment. But before we start to our lessons about selecting and using farm tools and equipment, let us know first what is the importance of farm tools, farm implements, and farm equipment. Farm tools, farm implements, and farm equipment play very important role in crop production. Their availability makes work much easier and faster. However, even if one may have the most sophisticated tools, implements, and equipment, but does not know how to use them, they are useless. In order to do the farm operation successfully, one must have a good working knowledge of the tools, implements, and equipment before using them. Farm tools, farm implements, and farm equipment. Hand tools. Hand tools are usually light and are used without the help of animals or machines. They are being used in performing farm activities which involves small areas like school, garden, and home garden. What are the classifications of hand tools and their corresponding functions? Number 1, digging tools. Pick mattock. It is used for digging canals, and it is also used for removing stumps and stones. Crowbar. It is used for digging up big stones and tree stump, used for digging big holes. Spade. Used for digging canals and ditches, and used for removing trash and mixing soil media. Shovel. Used for digging loose soil, removing trash, moving soil from one place to another, and for mixing soil media. Grab hoe. Used for breaking hard topsoil and pulverizing soil. Spading fork. Use or loosening the soil, digging out root crops, and turning over the materials in a compost heap. Light hoe. Used for loosening and leveling soil and digging out furrows for planting. Dull bolo. Used mainly for digging roots and weeding gardens, approximating the functions of garden hoe, smallest type of bolo. Number 2, cutting and harvesting tools. Knife. It is used for cutting, planting materials, and for performing other operations in horticulture. Sickle. Used for harvesting of crops, grass, and cutting of other vegetables matters. Pruning shears. Used for pruning unnecessary branches and cutting planting materials. Sharp bolo. Used for cutting tall grasses and weeds and chopping branches of trees. Axe. Used for cutting bigger posts. Scythe. Used for moving grass or reaping crops. Number 3, measuring tools. Meter stick. Used for measuring the height of plants, and it is also used to measure planting distance. Ruler. Used for measuring the height of plants, and it is also used to measure planting distance. pH meter. Used to measure the hydrogen ion concentration or pH. indicating its acidity or alkalinity of the soil. Weighing scale, used for weighing vegetable produce. Number 4, cultivating tools. Hand towel, used for balling seedlings, and it is also used for cultivating soil around the plants. Hand cultivator, used for cultivating garden plot by loosening the soil and removing your weeds around the plants. Hand fork, used for inter-row cultivation. Number 5, other horticultural tools. Rake, used for cleaning the ground and leveling the topsoil. Sprinkle, used for watering seedlings and young plants. Water pail, used for hauling water, manure, and fertilizer. Wheelbarrow, used for hauling truss, manures, fertilizer, planting materials, and other equipment. Knapsack sprayer, used for spraying pesticide and liquid fertilizer in wide areas. Hand sprayer, used for spraying small areas. Farm implements. Farm implements are accessories which are being pulled by working animals or mounted to machineries. Hand tractor, which are usually used in the preparations of land. These are usually made of special kinds of metal. Farm implements and their corresponding function. Number 1, disc plow. It is used for tilling large areas, making furrows and inter-row cultivation. Number 2, native harrow, used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. Number 3, rotavator, used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. Number 4, trailer. It is commonly used for the transport of goods and materials. Farm equipment. Farm equipment are machines used in crop productions. They are used in land preparation, in transporting farm inputs and products. This equipment need a highly skilled operator to use. Farm equipment and their corresponding functions. Number 1, hand tractor, used to pull a plow and harrow in preparing a large area of land. Four-wheel tractor, used to full disc, plow and disc harrow in preparing much bigger area of land. Water pumps, used to draw irrigation water from a source. Grass cutter, used to keep the grass trim. Rice harvester, used for harvesting rice grain, wet grain, and flour. Pre-operative check-up of tools, implements, and equipment. Pre-operational inspections of tools, implements, and equipment prior to every use will reduce the chance of operating in an unsafe manner. This makes it easier to spot and deal with maintenance issues early before they turn into a problem, causing downtime, damage, or expensive repairs. Unsafe tools, implement, and equipment can also cause injury to the operator or other workers and damage to facilities or product. Number 1, checking of farm implements. Farm implements like ordinary plow and wooden harrow should be checked thoroughly before use. Loosened bolts and nuts should be tightened firmly. For implements mounted on machineries, take into consideration the following. Fit attachment according to the manufacturer's instruction. Never alter, modify, or raise the height of the drawbar unless provided for by the manufacturer. Regularly check safety pins on the toe, lip wing implements to ensure they are not worn. Ensure all guards on toe implements are in place before operating. Never hitch above the center line of the rear axle, around the axle housing, or to the top link fin. Never adjust or work on implements while they are in motion. When parking, always lower the 3-point linkage and tow implement. These, flow, and harrow should also be lubricated under moving parts like bearings. Pre-operational checks for tractors. Whether you had been farming for 50 years or 50 days, you should start your workday with a pre-operational check of your tractors before heading out to the field. By checking your tractor before using it, you could prevent costly repairs, downtime, and aggravation. Before even starting the tractor, go through the following checklist item. Fuel level, make sure have sufficient fuel in the tank. Check your battery, make sure that the battery terminals are not corroded. Check your tires. Not only should you check the air pressure, but also make sure that the lug nuts are tight. Look at the condition. Example, tread of the tires. If you notice that you have a low tire pressure, look for air leakage from around the bulb stem. Loose or defective parts. Take time to really examine the tractor to look for the loose or defective parts such as a spray or worn fan belt. Replace, tighten, or make necessary repairs before heading out to the field. SMB or Slow Moving Vehicle Emblem. If your SMB emblem is faded or distorted in color or shape, it is time to replace it with a new SMB emblem to increase your visibility to others. Fluid leaks. Look for any fluid leaks on the ground beneath the tractor. Also check fluid levels for coolant, engine oil, and hydraulic oil level as well. You can do some very serious damage to your tractor if you run out of these fluids. Operator's platform area. You may spend much of your day on the operator's platform, so check the steps to make sure you can get safely on and off of the tractor. Examine the area around the seat to make sure it is clear of debris or soles that could cause you to trip. You should have a rollover protection structure on your tractor, so always make sure your seat belt is operable and that you buckle it. Fire extinguisher. Check your fire extinguisher to make sure it is charged. Lighting flasher. Check headlights and warning light flasher to make sure all of the lights are working and replace bulb if necessary. Visibility from operator's seat. Clean and dirty cab windows to provide the best visibility for you from the operator seat. You may think this will take too much time, but it is better to take the time rather to have a breakdown in the middle of the road to cause serious damage. Example, engine sizes to your equipment. Manufacturer's Manual. A manufacturer's manual is also called an instructional manual or a user guide. It is an instructional book or booklet that is supplied with almost all technological advanced consumer products. It is always advisable to follow manufacturer instructions to understand the operations of a piece of tool, implement, and equipment. So, you have learned the different farms tools, farm implements, and farm equipment, as well as pre-operative checkup and align with the manufacturer's manual. This is Evelyn B. Sagana. Thank you for watching.